it's March 10th, 2021. I'm Kimberly Jolly from FlossTube. We have lots of new releases, lots of new patterns, lots of new stitch-alongs. So we have a ton of stuff I'm super excited about today. The first thing I'm going to start with is we have some new stitch cards that are arriving in the next couple of days. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So if you are in the Stitch Card Club by Holt, these will be shipping to you any day. I took these to the framer. I actually made these. Took them to the framer, and this is what you'll be getting with Stitch Card H. And I just took these to a custom framer. They're not a standard frame or anything. Now you could get a frame at Hobby Lobby. I just didn't have time to deal with that, so I got these framed, and I did put glass in them. And let's see. The fabric that I stitched on is 25 count Lugana. So this is Prim Lugana. And it took me about 8 hours to do these, and I stitched them with the called for DMC, which is right here. So we do have the thread pack available, so you can get that now. Now, if you're not in the Stitch Card Club, no big deal. It will go online 5 days after the club people receive theirs. And one thing that I did want to let you guys know that's super fun is we took Lori Holt's economy block in the 6-inch size, and we stitched the penny pig, and we put him in here, and we made a pillow out of him. So that video is going to come out on March 23rd. So that was a way for us to combine my love of cross stitch, my love of quilting, and have a bowl filler pillow. Because I don't have one yet. So, and we also sent that to Lori, so she'll be showing that on her FlossTube also. And so that is the first thing. I was pretty nervous when I went to the framer because I really didn't know what kind of frame to do. And at the framer, I have been going to this framer for probably, let's see, almost 14 years. And so with that, I have used so many of their white frames. So I was able to use this red frame. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to display this or where I'm going to display it, but even if I don't put it on the wall, I can put it on an easel, and I could put 4 different easels up. And we use the library cards, and what we're doing is we're using the our stitchery tape, double-sided, to keep it in there so that they don't fall out, because mine kept falling out. So it has all the information on the back, and my framer does put a little thing on there. So I did do museum glass. I really probably didn't need to for this one, but I did. So let me know if you have any questions on the stitch cards. Now with the stitch cards, I can tell you that we're gonna do something super fun with these where I'm gonna be stitching them again. So if you don't wanna stitch them individually, then we're gonna stitch them as like a group later.
From Leanne Roberts, any idea when to expect Lori Holt's stitch cards holder?
Yes, it is still in production. I think it is final, probably a couple months. So we were working on, in the stitch card holder, what we want to do is it has some tabs, like a recipe box, so you can put your stuff in, but we were messing with the thing in the back that will make it expand. And so we went around and around with that. So once we get that final, it will be a couple of months. And what we're going to do is we're going to do like a couple of colors. And then once those sell out, maybe bring some different colors so that you can collect the different colors. This one is the first set's going to come in 3 different colors. The next thing I wanted to show you was Stitchy Stars, which I know we have shown before, but I wanted to go over one thing with it. So here is my plan for Stitchy Stars. So I'm going to start this in May for Mania. But what I wanted to do is there's been a lot of questions, so we're going to clear up the questions. So when Lori designed this, she did 7 stars so that it would be an odd number. And on the back, what we have done is given you the finished size for 3 different sizes. So 10 count would be 3 by 20 and a half, 14 count 2 1/4 by 14 and a half, and 25 count 2 1/2 by 16 and a half. But what is happening with that is some of the fabric, if you buy it pre-cut, it can be tight. So I'm going to go through and show you what you would need to buy and what to consider when doing this. Now, if you want to avoid that issue completely, all you have to do is just not do the last one. Just take one out. That would fix it. But I'm going to go through and tell you. So if you're stitching on 10 count, it will be 3 by 20 and a half. Now, Lori's pre-packaged 10 count comes packaged 17 by 17. So that piece is not big enough. So if you wanted to do it on 10 count, you would need to go to your local needlework store and buy it by the yard. 14 count will work easily. It finishes at 2 1/4 by 14 and a half. Lori's fabric comes packaged 18 by 18. So doing that, you can have a 2-inch border up here. That's not a big deal. You will have 1.75 over here and 1.75 over here. That is what I will be doing in Mania. We're not going to do a stitch along. We're just going to do it as part of Mania, FQS Stitch Mania. So I would recommend, if you want to make this, you use 14 count and leave a 1.75 and a 1.75 margin. Now, if you don't want to have to worry about that, you can go to a local needlework store and buy it by the yard, or you can buy like a half-yard piece from us in beautiful beige, which will be plenty wide and give you more margin. Now the next size is 25 count, so that's 2 1/2 by 16 and a half. Lori's pre-packaged 25 count comes in 18 by 18. So if you're going to use that, which is this is what Lori used, you will have 0.75 over here and 0.75 over here. So you just want to start really close to the edge, and by doing that, you still have the 1/4 inch here. So it is doable. You just have to factor that in, which is why we put these sizes. And next time we just won't do a design that wide so that it won't be an issue in the future. But that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using the 14 count oatmeal. This is 25 count oatmeal, and Lori stitched it on the modeled side. And but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So again, if you're doing the 10 count, you would need to buy yardage because the pre-pack is not big enough. 14 count, you will have 1.75 and 1.75 on the sides. 25 count, you'll have 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch, unless you buy a half-yard cut. So let me know if there's any questions on that. And we are going to do a really detailed blog post with a really pretty image that you can click, print, so that if you have any questions, you have that there and you don't have to memorize what I just said. And I'm going to be doing this, let's see, with Weeks Dye Works. There is a thread pack, and there's also a DMC thread pack, but I'm going to do Weeks Dye Works and FQS Stitch Mania. And I might finish it on this, I might not, we'll see, because my 14 count will be smaller, so we'll see. And what we're doing now going forward is on the back of the pattern, we tell you what we finish it in and who finishes it. And obviously when we buy things at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, they do come in and out of stock. We can't guarantee they're going to be in stock, but we do give you the number so that you don't have to worry about thinking that through if you don't want to.
From a Spirit Palms and Dance team, what is the 14 count equivalent for Prim 25 count Lugana, please?
There is not a Prim 14 count yet. She might do one, but there is Prim only comes in 25 count right now from Lori. Now, the equivalent would be maybe Beautiful Beige would be a little bit similar, but that would be a little bit more cream, less brown. Cafe Mocha is similar, but you're not going to get an exact color. But if you want Prim and 14 count, Lori can do that in the future.
From Fifth Daughter, what size was the model stitched on for Stitchy Stars?
25 count. So that's what I'm saying is Lori did use her pre-packaged fabric. She just left a tiny bit on the left and a tiny bit on the right. And she still had plenty to put it on the sticky board.
Amy Berry says, can you stitch it on a diagonal?
No. You could do 3 by 3. So what you could do is you could do 3 and then pull 3 down here and do 2 by 3. And you could do 2 more by pulling from her other patterns. And if you did that, the one difference there is in this pattern with her stitch cards is she did a full stitching. So you would need to add some white or some background, but I would do a 3 by 2, or you could just do 6. You know, just take 1 off. And it would be fine.
Dina Seiza says, if we want to do 10 count, will we get a full yard or half yard?
You would only need a half yard. Okay. But I honestly don't know what size that fabric is sold in by the yard, what the width is, because we don't sell it that way. So you would just tell your local needlework store, you know, this is my stitch count. Can I have enough? And any stitch store would convert that for you. And then we probably just shouldn't have listed the 10 count, because we probably just shouldn't have listed it.
And then we had a super chat from Dot Goose Design Denise for $50, and she says, we love the new sew along, stitch along, me and Miss Gracie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, she put SAL, so my brain went sew along instead of stitch along. Thank you so much, Dot Goose.
Thank you. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is our charity piece. So every year we do a charity piece. This is our 2nd year doing it in cross stitch. It's probably our 8th to 10th year doing quilting. So this year it is called Serendipity. So we have this cute bag that we have put together for that. Let me find, I have to find it in my book. So here it is in my book. So I'm stitching on 14 count navy by Witchell, and we do have a DMC thread pack and a Weeks Dye Works thread pack, and I am stitching on Weeks Dye Works, and I'm not changing any of the colors. So this pattern is going to come out today or tomorrow. Today. So this is completely free. So we're doing a stitch along. The stitch along actually would be next week, but I'm going to be off next week because I'm going to take my kids to a ranch. So next Wednesday I will not have a live stream. Now I will have the Friday live stream, but not the Wednesday. And at the end of the video I'll tell you what will come out next Wednesday, because we will have a video next week. It just won't be live. So release 1 is this first week. And so, and we have raised almost $30,000. Our goal is to hit 100,000. So that's super exciting. So this is a free pattern. We just ask that if you stitch along with us, you donate to our Make-A-Wish link. And here is mine. So, and then in 2 weeks, we will work on this one. So it's a stitch along where we just work on it over time. There is, on the blog, there is a chart of the days and, you know, when I'll be showing it. But we would love for you to stitch along, and you can feel free to use any fabric, any floss. Our main goal is to just donate to Make-A-Wish. So any donation is appreciated. So let me know if there's any questions on the Serendipity. The Serendipity, I did want to say that what we do is we first design a quilt, because that is what we started with. We'll design our quilt, and then after our quilt is totally designed, we will make a cross stitch that coordinates in some way. And so this is very similar to the quilt. So it does have the look of a quilt. So it mimics the look of the quilt. And the fabric that we base the colors off of is called Springbrook. And the fabric designer is Corey Yoder, and the fabric manufacturer is Moda. So we start and we kind of grow, and it is quite a process to do all of this. So it's nice when it like finally comes together and I actually get to stitch it or sew it.
Yeah.
And if you're a quilter, tomorrow I'm going to do a live video on our quilting channel and show you how to cut all of your fabric for row 1, which is also this row.
From Denise R, is that bag the same size as the previous charity bag?
Yes.
Bloom token.
Yes. So the way that I put this in here is, and that's why it has this crease right here. You see this crease? Because I just put it in here just like this. And my floss. And that's why it's a mess, because I just kind of threw it back in there.
And from Susan Mull, you mentioned when you first introduced Stitchy Stars that there would be other colors released. What will they be?
Okay, so I don't think we're going to release other colors, but we might stitch it. Okay, so what I meant was, yes, I'm going to stitch that in Christmas colors, and that will be stitched in Jolly July in July, and I have not picked colors yet. But we will pick colors, and I'm not sure if I'll do a traditional Christmas or if I'll do a modern Christmas, or I'm not sure because I haven't gotten that far. But yes, we will, and it'll be Christmas. But one colorway will release, but I'm not really sure what direction I'm going to take that yet.
From JP Thompson, with Serendipity, did you just skip 2 inches over and down? And is it 14 count? I think for your what you left around it to finish it.
I don't really remember what I did, to be honest. So if you're talking about the stitches in between, you follow the pattern. What I do is I take my cross stitch key and put it here, and it's usually 2 inches. So I usually do 2 inches down, and oh, it's actually right here.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm not going to promise it matches, but I kind of do that business.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll leave, but I did buy this pre-package from Witchell. But yeah, I leave about 2.5. But between the stitches, you don't have to worry about it, because when you download the pattern, it tells you exactly what to do. And then when you go to release 2, when that comes out, it'll tell you exactly where to go, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. And is it 14 count?
Yes, I'm stitching on 14 count. Let's see. I'm stitching on 14 count Aida Navy Witchell. The number is 357-98A. And the quilt is a thatched navy, so we kind of went with that same look. Of course, if you put this right next to the quilt, it's not going to be 100% match, but it is going to be very close.
That is really close. From Jules Soren, would it be okay to donate to my local Make-A-Wish?
Sure. I mean, we do prefer that you do our Make-A-Wish, though. I mean, that would, but you can, obviously, if you want to donate to a charity, you should do whatever is in your heart.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, the next release is a new pattern by It's So Emma, and it is so cute. So this came out this Monday, and this is the pattern. On the back, we list, Priscilla finished it for us, what she finished it on. We give you the stitch count, the finish size, and we're listing DMC colors. What we stitched on is Aqua 14 count Aida by Zweigart, 3706-5146. And here is the piece. So we love this finishing. So this is your stitched piece. She put this on Prim fabric by Lori Holt, and she used 2 different vintage trims and layered them. And then this board came like this. So we are going to be doing a stitch along with this. The pattern just released on Monday. It's available as a paper pattern. It will be a PDF pattern in 6 months. So I'm going to show you our stitch along dates. And all of this will be on our blog, and it will tell you when to start. So week 1 is that first house. So by April 7th, you would be done with the first house. If you're gonna stitch along with me. Now, I'm not sure, I might stitch it just like it comes. I might change the Aida cloth. I'm not exactly sure. I do love this finish though. So that will be a 4-part stitch along where we do the 3 houses as a part and then the top and bottom as one part. So we do hope that you stitch along with us. We have this thread pack. So look how pretty those colors are.
So pretty.
And it looks a little bit, it's funny how it looks a little bit different when it's not actually on the cloth. So, and this would be great in the entryway to your home. And then this is the Aida that we're using. And so we cut this in-house off of bolts into fat quarters. I'm very excited about this one. It's so pretty. And I'll put it right here.
So cute. Oh, that's standing up on its own. That's
yes, that little, it was on a stand, and that stand is haunted. And every time I try to take it off something, I get frustrated. So that stand's gonna disappear. Every time I mess with it, it's like, messes. So I'm not using the stand.
That's funny. The stand's gone missing. That's hilarious. From Crafting a Planned Life, on Home Sweet Home, can Kimberly please recommend another cloth? Unfortunately, the blue does not match anything in my home. Thanks.
So what you could do is you could stitch it on Prim, you could stitch it on Oatmeal. So I will show you how that would look. This is Prim fabric, so let's just pretend that you don't see what's on there. And this is what the colors would look like. I'm gonna make a mess, I'm sorry, Denise. And Cody did design this, just to give her a shout out. So this is how that would look. Now, if you don't have any blue in your house at all and you don't want blue, you can easily change these roofs to, the roof is 4 colors. So this roof uses 2 blues, this roof uses 4 blues, and this roof uses 2 blues. So you could just change out these 4 colors. And when you do the stitch along with us, we love it. We love to see it in all colors. You can do whatever matches your home because we do want this to be something that you love. And if you don't love it, just change it. So that's how it would look on Prim or, you know, any kind of tannish fabric. I would think if you put it on white, it might not be great because the daisies won't show up and those flowers they look really daisy-ish. So if you changed them to something else, I'm not sure how they would look. So I would steer away from white and do something more brown and if you don't like blue at all, just change these 4 to whatever you want. You could use, now these are for the tree, whatever you call that, like what does the tree stand on? The bark, what is that?
The
trunk.
The trunk.
Sorry.
Oh,
so the tree trunk is this darker fabric, and the bottom of this house is this brown. So if I were going to change the roofs, I would not use these 2. I would leave these 2 down here so that they don't fight. You know, they don't blend too much. So hopefully that helps you.
What about like a gray? Do you think that would not look good?
You could do gray, but I don't know about gray on a brown.
I see what you mean.
Because sometimes, like if you're working with a cool or warm gray, you got to be with the cool or warm. Sometimes it'll fight the brown.
I get what you're saying. From Tina Crooks, would this be good for someone brand new to cross stitching?
Yes. Yes.
Cute. And Gwen Smith says, very cute. Who did the finishing on Home Sweet Home?
Oh, Priscilla did, and I had just said that. So yeah, Priscilla did that, and we put the name of exactly what piece she used on the back of the pattern, and it's very unique. I love it. It's very, it's kind of like it's a statement piece. It can really, it's really big too, so it takes up a lot of space. So, like, you know, if you were walking in the entry to a house, it would look really good, or on the side of the wall, looks really good. So the next stitch along, because, you know, like, we just keep adding, is Prim and Proper. So this pattern released last year. It does go with Lori Holt's Prim and Proper quilt book that we have, and so we released it in a cross stitch. Lori Holt is the designer, and we're doing a stitch along, and Lily's going to show you the pop-up. So week 1 was last week, and it was the top. Week 2 is this week, and it's the left. Week 3, which is next week, is the top of the plant, and then week 4 is the bottom, and week 5 is the right side. So I'm going to show you mine. So this is the back. And I couldn't help myself. So this is where my OCD comes in. So this was week 1 that I showed you last week. Now I am using the Prim and Proper Floss box. And when I'm done with my pieces, I just roll them and put them on my design board. Bitty board. And this is a brand new bag from Goose, and it matches.
Oh,
it matches. So
cute.
Look, it's like the same fabric collection. So
Yeah.
this is from Etsy if you want to get one to match. So what I did is I stitched this, and I got down here, and I just really was nervous about if I was in the right spot here, just because I just get so nervous. So I went ahead and did this part to make sure I was in the right spot, because if I had to pull this out, this would be a lot of stitching. So this week I'm gonna do the pot, like this part, and then, you know, that will save me time on part 3 or part 4 and part 5 over here. But I just got so nervous. I was like, no, there's no way I'm gonna stitch this until you'll notice that I kind of do that. It's hard for me to just trust my stitches. And this one is Lori Holt's pattern. We have a DMC thread pack, and we also have this Floss box that she has used in 4 of her cross stitch patterns. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions on this. Now Lori finished this one. It is here somewhere. We can show it in person. And she finished it right here on this wood piece. So here's Lori's finished piece.
Ooh.
And Lori used 25 count Prim fabric. And this answers the question that I just got a while ago, because I answered it incorrectly. Give me 2 seconds to find where I'm at in my book. So I am using hand-dyed Jobelin Aida by Witchell called Sandcastle. So this is an equivalent to Prim. Somebody asked me a while ago, and I said I didn't know. Well, obviously I do know. Now that fabric is out of stock, and we will be getting more in a couple of months. Witchell is behind, and now, just so everybody knows, there is a shortage on 14 count Aida. So the companies that produce their own are having a hard time getting that. So it's going to become harder to find. And just so you can see the difference, mine will be much smaller. So she used 25 count Prim. I'm using 14 count Aida. And I guess that's about 3/4 or an inch difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is Lori's piece, and she used her Prim fabric collection and her vintage trim. And this is a piece from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. We put it on the back of the pattern. And when I put this in here, I just put, if you keep this kind of at the front, it'll all stay in place because it stays on the batting. And then I literally just put it in here, and then it's ready to go. So let me know if you have any questions on this piece, because it's so pretty. It matches me, my shirt.
It does. So how come your piece turned out smaller than Lori's?
So Lori is stitching on, the sample was stitched by Cheryl.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
The sample was designed by Lori, but Lori designed it for 25 count Lugana. 25 count Lugana is where you stitch over 2 squares, but that's the equivalent of 12.5. But I prefer to stitch on Aida, so I'm doing 14 count, and mine is going to be smaller. Now, what I consider when I am on a stitcher project is everybody kind of comes to stitching in a different way. So when Lori designs something, she thinks about everything. So she thinks about how she's going to finish it. She thinks about all of it. What I think about is, what can I stitch on? Because my eyesight is not great and I don't prefer to stitch on Lugana. Now you can see I can stitch on Lugana because her stitch cards that I just showed you were stitched on Lugana. So I can, but if I'm doing a big project, I would like it to be on Aida. And so I'll worry about the finishing later. I don't ever think about the finishing because I would get overwhelmed. My brain cannot encompass all of those things. I'm not as creative as Lori. So Lori can think through all of those things, whereas I'm like, okay, let me start with the cloth, let me start with the thread, and then I go from there.
From Cecilia Bass, would Lori Holt 14 count oatmeal work for Prim?
Yes.
And then Crafting a Plan Life was asking, since Prim is out of stock, does she have a recommendation for something different?
Prim is not out of stock. 25 count Prim should not be out of stock. It's not out of stock. So
What about the one you use?
That one that I used is 14 count Aida, and that is out of stock for 3 to 4 months. So I would do oatmeal, or I would do what was the color that I said earlier that you showed?
The Cafe Country French.
Cafe Country French. Yeah, Cafe Mocha Country French by Witchell would be similar. The most similar that we could come up with. Now, would I have stitched that if I knew we were going to be sold out? Absolutely not. We placed the order January 10th, and we were doing the sew along in February. We figured, hey, we'll have it in stock. And when we emailed in February, when it hadn't arrived, they said, oh, I'm sorry, that has a 4 to 6 month timeline. So I didn't do that on purpose. I just did it because I thought we were going to get it in time. And like I said, there's a shortage. So kind of what we get right now is what we get.
And from Carla Pierce, which other patterns use the Orifloss box?
Prim Village, Prim Stitch Series, and Prim and Proper. And I think there's might be one more.
Can you use it for the stitch cards?
The stitch cards, you could. We write the stitch cards for just DMC.
Okay. All right, and then wanted to give a shout out here. We've got a couple birthdays in the chat. First one from Sprinklestein Stitches. Happy birthday. She said she just wanted to say hi since she rarely gets to check in live, and it's her birthday today.
Oh, thank you. Happy birthday.
It's also Valeria Bauer's birthday.
Oh.
She said today is my 62nd birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Valeria. Happy birthday to all the birthdays in the chat today.
Okay, the next stitch along is from the Shine On book. The book name.
Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee.
Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book, sorry. This is in the back of the book. Now what I have done is I took the Cosmo Floss, put it on the Beekeeper by Lori Holt. So this side is cute, and so Lori told me to put my colors on the back, so I did. I just used a standard label maker. I'm using Cosmo, and the sample in the book was stitched on 25 count Cloud Lugana by Lori Holt, and it comes out really big. So I wanted mine to be a little bit smaller because my wall space where I'm going to put it is smaller. So I'm stitching on 18 count Aida, and mine should come out about 8.5 by 10.5, whereas the sample, I'm not sure what size the sample came out. We'll look, but mine's gonna come out much smaller. And so we're on week 1, and Lily's gonna show you week 2. It's gonna be right there. So it is going to be for next week, you will have this part done right here. Right here. And then the next week, I think, is over here. So next week on vacation, I'll stitch this, and then we'll move on. And so this is a very big, intense chart. So we really broke it up so that people could actually finish it. because sometimes if you do a stitch along or something like that and you just put way too much in it at one time, you might get discouraged. So we really broke this one up. So this one, the sample right here finished at 12 1/4 by 15 1/4, and I'm using 18 count, so mine's going to come out 8 1/2 by 10 1/2, which is, you know, 3 to 4 inches smaller. So let me know if you have any questions on that. I mean, I love how the colors look on the Beekeeper.
So cute.
And you can see that on here, some of these you needed 2 skeins. So there's more on here. So if I had 2 skeins, I kind of put more. And I'm dividing it up in my book. There's 15 parts total. Okay, so there's no questions on whips or anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break and let Lily show you what she's working on, and then we can clean up the table, and I will be right back.
Yay.
Oh, and look, I have a new piggy mask.
Oh, so cute.
It's so cute. I got it for my birthday.
Did you make it?
No. Are you joking?
I had to ask. Hey, hello everyone. Just gonna step around here. There's a couple things right there. Hello, my name is Lily, as a lot of you already know. Today I am going to show you my Puppy Love cross stitch that I've been working on. I started it as part of the Be Mine stitch along back in February. I have made very slow progress on it though, slow but steady. So I am going to show you that progress. Let me just take out my phone here so I can cut to our top camera. There we go. All right, so here it is. So this is the pattern. It is by Stitching with the Housewives, original artwork by Priscilla Blaine. It's so cute. So far I just have the beginning of the cup down there. I think I cut my fabric. I definitely overestimated how much fabric I needed because it's gonna end up being about here, and I had left all this fabric over here, so I think I'll have to find something small to stitch on that. I am stitching on 14 count chalkboard Aida by Holt. I am replacing the colors with stuff I have in my stash. So the 12 grain, which is this part, I have replaced with this Classic Colorworks bamboo, and you can see I've got attached it to a floss bitty right there. And I've got my just my type needle minder. I am using the Pat Carson size 26 needles. I've really fallen in love with those. I go back and forth between stitching in hand and stitching in a hoop, and this one has just been really great for when I stitch in hand, and stitching in a hoop is also good with that one. And then as you can see, I have not serged the edges, which I could do on my home machine, but when I cut this, I cut it at work. So instead of doing like a zigzag stitch, I just used some masking tape we have here. And that's my progress on that. So I will cut back to front camera. Ashley, can you let me know if there's any questions? Sorry, there's a lot of movement going on right now, so Ashley's coming over to help me. Thank you, Ashley. I can also just keep talking for a little bit. Okay, so I'll tell you guys about my outfit. I think I've worn these two pieces before. Want to give a shout out to Pat Reimenschneider. She watches on the quilting side. I don't know if she watches the FlossTube, but she made this mask and she gifted it to me, so thank you so much, Pat. And then the shirt I am wearing, I love it so much. It is Zara brand. It is from an online thrift store called ThreadUp. I love ThreadUp, reduce, reuse, recycle, and all that. And then these red pants I love so much. They were my mom's. And then she always has a lot of clothes, so I end up with a lot of my mom's clothes. I think I say that a lot on here. But I've also visited her a lot more recently, and so she's always like, just take whatever you want, whatever fits and you like, just let me know so I'm not looking for it later. So these pants fit great. And I'm very thankful for that.
Gwen Smith is asking, how are you liking stitching on the dark fabric?
Oh, so thank you for asking, because that has been a challenge. I've never stitched on the darker fabric before. I've only tried like lighter colors, like I'm doing the Breeze for the monthly markings, and then I've stitched on Malted Milk as well. And then just like a natural witch Holt equivalent, which is like a light beigey brown. But yeah, so, and I have like good eyesight. Haven't had my eyes tested in a while, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it's decent eyesight. but I have a hard time seeing the holes on this sometimes. So I also don't always stitch with the best lighting. So I think that's been part of it. So once I start stitching with good lighting, like I was actually stitching a little bit earlier today, right before the live stream started, with our fancy film lights, and it was a lot easier to do. But I also find that like putting like if I'm stitching at home and stitching on my bed or my couch, if I put like a white pillow underneath, like on my lap where I'm stitching, it helps me see it so much better, and just having very bright lights helps. So that's what I've had to do for that. But yeah, even for me, it's a challenge. So now I'm like, oh, I understand. Everyone talks about the chalkboard and talks about how challenging it is. I feel you now.
And Freddie Gonzalez is asking, please tell me about your fantastic shoes you shared a while back. They were like booty tennis shoes that keep your feet warm.
Yeah, so those were I almost wore them today, but I actually wore them. We had a photo shoot for a quilt book the last 2 days, and I wore them all day for those 2 days, so switched shoes up today. Those are called Allbirds. It is, I think, a national chain. Like, you can get them online, but I got those were gifted to me by my wonderful partner for Christmas, and he got them just in Austin on South Congress. They have a store there. But yes, they are called Allbirds, and then the style was the Mizzle style, I believe. It's like wool, but it's like water resistant, super comfortable shoes. Today I am wearing my Rifle Paper Company Keds. Woo! Yes, hello. These are waterproof, so I love these. It was cloudy today, so I was like, oh, if it rains, I got those on. And they're also really comfortable. But the Allbirds take the cake for comfort. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for having me, everyone. I will hand it back over to Kimberly now. And I'll see you on Friday's live stream. Woo! I think I got everything.
Thank you, Lily.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna move some stuff over real quick. So I'm gonna move into the things that I'm doing monthly for 2021. So kind of my goal this year was to do stitch alongs throughout the year, do my special events throughout the year, but then also have monthly goals so that I can break up my stuff and actually accomplish things. So I went ahead and did all of March. So if you look at this from the top camera, I did the inside, and then I went ahead and did this part. Now the funny thing, well, let's not say funny. I was stitching this and this, and I had forgot over here, I had forgot some stitches, and I was looking at it and I thought, this looks funny. I must have done something. So I did forget some stitches, so I was glad that I caught that. And this is the Heart and Hand monthly markings. So there are 12 separate patterns for the individual months, and then there's a border pattern. And we did our own thread pack with Weeks Dye Works. It's just called the Heart and Hand Weeks Dye Works thread pack. And so we recolored it. And in that thread pack, it does tell you where I put all the threads. And I just did, we kind of did the little shamrock on his hat in 2 greens, so I just did 2 dark and two light and alternated them. Now what you could do is you could blend the threads. I'm not much of a thread blender though, so I've got that done, and then since I won't be here next week, I went ahead and got that done. So there's that. And then I did finish the March sampler of the month.
So pretty.
It's so cute. So this is Country Cottage Needleworks. It's a new series for 2021, and I'm doing them in 3 segments. Since I'm going to be on vacation next week, I went ahead and finished. And I am very happy to say that I'm getting a little bit better at the colonial knots. So when I did the elf's eyes, it only took me 30 minutes instead of an hour. And I am using the method that Cheryl taught me, and we have a video on our channel, but I'm doing a colonial knot with 1 twist.
I think you mean the leprechaun's eyes?
Is it not an elf?
No, I think it's a leprechaun.
Well, see, I don't know. I don't know all these things.
I was like, where's the elves?
I don't know what it looks like. Isn't that elf the same thing?
I think they're technically different.
See, y'all are all trendy. I have no idea. Y'all are trendy.
There's different knits and stuff, right?
Yeah, so I've been keeping this in this bag by Dot Dot Goose, and then these are these are the fabrics that I got as part of the club, and so I've already cut them down. So I've got to start April. And I did want to give you a tease that yesterday on Instagram, Country Cottage Needleworks put out a picture of May. So super exciting.
Yeah.
And it's cute. So, okay, leprechauns.
Leprechauns.
So I got that done. And then I'm still working on this one. This is Here Comes Peter Cottontail by Stitching with Housewives. And his little face is not all the way done. But
Looks like a ninja.
yeah, so I will finish this by the time I get back. But what I did is I outlined the white, filled in the pink, and then I outlined his face, filled it in the pink, and then I just got to fill in. But yeah, I was going to finish it, but I didn't. And then I put this one in this bag, and this was sent to me by Lake House Stitch Co. And I kind of try to match my bags to my project. I would have loved to have finished this on time. Well, I don't want to say on time, but I would have loved to finish this by today, but I didn't. So, but it will get done. The next one I'm working on is also by Stitching with the Housewives. And this one is the April Trucking Along. And I keep this one in this bag. And so this one I finished Monday night. So I didn't make any changes. I haven't made any changes yet. And then next time you see me, I will have at least the truck done. Now, I'm obviously not going to put the chickens. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I was thinking I would put this little bunny right here that's peeking out. See him?
Yeah.
On top of the sign, but make him white because the outline of the sign is brown. So I'm thinking I'll keep that brown, but then make a little bunny that pops up that's white. Mm-hmm. And then if there's enough room, I'll put a piggy. If there's not enough room, I just will leave it. Mm-hmm. So that next time you'll just see this, and then the week after you'll see the bottom. But it's really cute. And then by Mania, I will have all 12 of them done. So that'll be exciting because I finished March. I just have to finish April and May. And I have May scheduled for Mania. And then the next stitch along I'm doing, I keep in this bag that I made with our cross stitch alphabet pattern. And in it, I keep my bitty board, and I have all my silk on here. So I am halfway done. This is the Patchwork Seasons PDF designed by Cody. And, oh, I'm not halfway done. I'm a quarter way done. What am I thinking? I got all excited thinking I was halfway done. So next week, so this was my first week stitching it. Next week, I go this side. And then the next week and the next week. So I might just do this for the next time I see you and then push the other ones back so that you can actually see. This one's going to be so cute. I love it. I really like working with the silk, which is, you know, not always the best thing because it is expensive, but it does not at all tangle and actually makes it much more easy to go because I have all these things I'm doing. So there's that. The next one is Cheryl's piece. So Cheryl is also stitching the Country Cottage Needleworks, and she's also stitching on Beautiful Beige, but she is using the linen. And so this is how far she got on April. And she thinks this one has more stitching than the others, which I didn't really notice, but I haven't started April yet, so I'm not sure if I can confirm or deny. So that is Cheryl's. And so let me know if there's any questions on any of my whips, and then I'm going to show you some framed finishes and just some other stuff that I've done.
We do have a few questions from Stephanie Neville Meeks. I'm going to use 18 count for the first time. Should I use one thread?
2.
Okay. Grateful Grammy says, will Fat Quarter Shop's shipping policies change with the increase in shipping rates?
I do not know.
And Gabriel Fuentes is asking, what are you doing for spring break, Kimberly?
Okay, so we're going to go to this ranch in Kerrville. And we're going to go, like, it's just a ranch in like an 1800s cabin, and we're going to just chill out and take the iPads away and look at animals and play horseshoes. I don't even know how to play horseshoes, but we're just going to go for a couple of days and It's about an hour and a half or 2 hours. I don't know. I haven't been there in years. And it's like one of those places where they serve you breakfast, lunch, dinner. We'll probably play hide and seek outside. It sounds like a vacation that doesn't really fit my personality at all, but I'm gonna suck it up and go with it because I came up with it. But I just don't like to be outside because I'm very allergic and I will have rashes. Like I can't mow the grass. Like I can't tell you how many times I've just broken out in hives. I don't love to be outside, but I do love animals. So I am excited because they have like a safari park that you pay to do like they take you around in it in like an ATV or whatever. So I'm super excited about that, but not so excited about being outside a lot. I've never been an outdoor person ever. So, but I think it'll be the animals. I'm excited about the animals, and I'm thinking we might do horseback riding, and my kids are like, they do not want to do it at all, and so I think it's great because I'm going to make them do it.
Yes.
They're like, we are not getting on a horse. What? I am not doing it. I'm like, oh, you are. If I get on a horse, you have to get on a horse.
I would be so excited.
So we'll see how far we'll see if we get that far.
Yeah.
I've only done it once. I'm not athletic at all, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well,
I'm very clumsy. That's also why, like, I don't want to be made fun of.
Oh.
Like, I'm very I'm pretty tough, like, at work, but at home, I'm not so tough.
Oh. Well,
I don't want somebody to make fun of me.
It sounds like a really good time.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how much we get done. And they have a pool, but she said it's spring water, so she was like, it's super cold. I'm not sure if your kids will be able to swim in it. So we'll see.
All right, and then we had a super chat from Valeria Bauer for $9.99, and she put a little pair dancing that says #1 fan.
Thank you. You should put happy birthday, Valeria.
Happy birthday, Valeria.
Yeah. And the flag.
Go, Valeria.
Okay, so I have some frame finishes. I got to go to the framer, and I got my first sampler of the month bag. And this is the same one that we just showed you, March and April. So I did have the framer put in glass. They do put spacers in. So there is a gap between the bottom of the piece and the top. And this is a frame by Family Tree Frame Company. And we do have more coming. And I'm hoping it'll be soon because she has started working on her order. So that's exciting. So I got that back. I also got back the stitch cards that I showed you earlier. And then this is the second of a 4-part series by Hands On Design. So I did fall or autumn. This is winter. Now she did show as part of Expo spring, and that will be coming soon, and I'm going to do that. And I am framing all 4 of them in the same frame. Now I just take this to get custom framed. I do keep the colors the same, and I'm stitching on a 14 count. I think her pattern calls for 16, but I'm using 14 count. And so I just get it custom framed, and I put all my information on my library card, and I got that back. So I'm excited. And what I did, because I do frame all of my things differently, and when I go to the framer, I will tell them how much space to leave. So I took my autumn one, and she measured, and I said, just leave the same gap so that they would all be similar, so that as I put them up, they will all kind of fit about the same spot on my wall. And we do have a previous finish to show you. And so the funny thing on this is when we do the previous finishes, we come up with what we're going to do for all month, all 4 for each month, basically. And so I go home and hunt for them. We couldn't find it. Well, I was currently using it in one of my projects. So this holds all my thread for sampler of the month that I just showed you. And it's in my bag, and me and Denise couldn't find it, and it was there the whole time. So this is a pattern by Lori Holt, and I turned it into a bag a while back. But I think that's so funny that I have so much stuff that I have no idea where any of it is. And we were confused because this is Lori's, and Lori has it at her house. And so we were thinking, I made this, and it was at my house. And I was like, I can't find it. And then we were going through, and I was like, oh, because it's right there, right in front of our faces.
Oh.
Our club feature for today is the March Snapshot. So this is a club that features Pine Mountain Designs, And I stitched this last year, so it seems like ages ago, but it was only last year. So we take the Pine Mountain pattern, we pair it up with 10 count fabric from Lori Holt, and we put our DMC picks. And we're using the same frame from Hobby Lobby. And so I'm excited that I get to take it home and maybe show it in my house. So let me know if there's any questions before I move to the What's New section.
Funny comment from Katie McNatt. I hope there aren't chickens there for Kimberly's sake at the farm.
Oh,
you
no,
go see
I will be running from those chickens. I really like animals, like llamas and stuff, but I don't want to touch a llama. Like, I like a horse. I don't want to touch a horse. I like to learn about them and see them, but I don't want a chicken, and I don't want a llama, and I don't want nothing. I just want my dog. But I don't know. Like, I like to look at them, but like being outside, that's not really my thing.
I was surprised. I never thought I'd hear you say
A llama's cute.
They are. I think alpacas are cuter, but yes, llamas are cute.
I don't know the difference.
The alpacas are like fluffier, and llamas kind of make stupid faces sometimes, but they're in a very cute way.
Well, okay, I'll tell you a funny story from when I was a little kid. So
cool.
So, okay, this is one of my stories. So, I don't know how, okay, so I had a grandmother, called her Granny, and she was married to this man named Thad. Now, my granny was married about 10 to 12 times. Nobody knows the real number because my mom can't figure it out. She was married to Thad about 4 times. So there was controversy in my family about whether we liked him at the time or we didn't because he would take all the stuff. I mean, just family drama. Well, during one of their time, because what she would do is she would marry him, and then all of a sudden she wouldn't be married to him, and then she would be married to him. So my mom never knew what was going on. And my mom didn't really know how to handle the situation because my mom is very passive aggressive. So we never knew if we showed up, if Thad was going to be there or not, because they literally, it was a mess. That was part of my childhood. So one time she came to get me, and Thad was there, and they took me to a park where you drive through and you feed the animals. Oh. Well, one of the animals came in the window and bit my grandmother. I don't know. Anyway, because she was trying to feed it, and that was the joke from our family because my dad at the time was not a fan of my granny, and so he was like, "That's what she gets." Oh, but I mean, all in fun, not in a bad way, but just we had a lot of family issues when I was little, and we always made joke of it, which we're just a funny family, and so my dad was like, "That's what she gets." Mm-hmm. Anyway, don't hate me in the comments, but I do remember that was the thing back then, because back then there was no phone, so I called my dad at night and I was like, "Dad, Granny got bit." Oh my God. He was like, "That's what she gets." Oh my but the thing was, he would say that to her face. He wouldn't say it behind her back because he was not passive aggressive. He was aggressive. He would say it to her face, and so it was all in fun because we could all talk about it as a real thing.
Yeah, family stuff.
Oh my goodness. So I did want to let you know this weekend that Denise, Cheryl, and I on Saturday attended Needlework Expo, which was an online event in replacement for a real live event. And so we ordered patterns from all of the designers, and you're going to see all of that coming in because we placed our order Saturday and everything is coming in. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that has come in from Expo, and you'll just want to watch the What's New page between now and the time you see me in 2 weeks. The first 2 new patterns I want to show you are by Stitching with the Housewives. This is Daisy Seeds, which is the second in the April tiered tray. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about making this one, and then the first one was zinnias. Yes. So they're little seed packs. This is from last week, and it says Chicks Dig Me. And apparently, I didn't know this, but on Facebook somebody put that there is a Rae Dunn mug that says Chicks Dig Me. Oh. I don't know. They don't sell Rae Dunn where I go to Home Goods, so I don't ever really know. Mm-hmm. We got 2 new needle minders, and they are so cute. They are by Flamingo Toes. Her needle minders are actually the best sellers out of all needle minders we carry. So and cute. Just came in, and this one's already on the top seller page. the needlework. I saw it this morning because I do check the What's New page every day. So I'm gonna have to buy both of these.
What did they say on the top?
Quilt shop and needlework.
Ah.
So this is like this is the one that's on the top seller page.
Okay.
Sorry. These are brand new paper patterns from Stitching with Housewives. So this is the May truck, which will be my last one that I need to do. This is Barnyard Bakery. So if you signed up for a pre-order, these have shipped already. And this is Bunny Garden. And so these are the other 3 new Stitching with the Housewives. And from Annie B's Folk Art, I'm going to show you all of her patterns. They're brand new. This is Stars and Stripes Forever. This one did get a lot of love on social media, so I do think this is going to be her most popular. She has Biddy Barnes, Spring and Summer. Is that a lamb or an alpaca? Or a llama? That's my joke for today.
Hard to tell.
This
Alpaca.
This is for Freedom. So part of the expo was called Moo the Merrier, and each designer was asked to do a moo design.
A cow?
Cow.
Hey,
A moo.
cow, horse, I don't know. That's why I'm not an outdoor person. I did grow up in the country though. This is American House Sampler. This was also her second most popular one on our social media. And then Time to Bloom. So these are now in stock if you would like to order them.
That Time to Bloom's on my wish list.
This one,
Cute. It's just a little sheep. It's definitely a sheep.
it's a sheep.
Yes.
We know it's a sheep. I don't know anything about animals. I'm sorry. Twin Peak Primitives also arrived in time to show on live stream. This is Easter Preparation. Sweet Summer. And this is the first time carrying their designs, so we'll see how well they sell because we have not carried them before. This is B is for bees, or B is bees. Okay, this is Daisy the cow with chickens.
Oh, she's so pretty.
It's a pretty cow.
Yeah.
And then Star Spangled Santa and You. I don't know. I do have some funny jokes to tell y'all. Okay, and then this is First Signs of Spring. This is the third in the A Time for All Seasons series by Cottage Garden Samplings. And this is a brand new 2021 Prairie Schooler. These are I'm going to show you our flash sales before I move on to the next new item, just because we have a lot of stuff. This is our flash sale for today. It is summer and winter. And we have this needle threader on flash sale today also. Now I'm going to show you some new fabrics that we got in from Fiber on a Whim. And I'm going to show you the colors and the types so you can see the different dye. This color is Cypress. This is 28 count Cashel linen. This is 32 count Belfast linen. And this is 36 count linen. Now, this is all that came in of that color. The Aida will come in later. So when we order, we just get what we get, and then we have ordered this in Aida. So you can see this dye looks very similar because it's all linen and it took the dye about the same way. So I'm gonna put those back in order. Now the next color is called Night Sky, and it's also the same. 28 count, 32 count, and 36 count. So this is denim, but it is definitely a really original color that has more meat to it. So like, you know, when you buy like light dyed denim jeans and dark dyed denim jeans, this would be your dark dyed 1980s right here.
Yeah, that dark one.
And we will be getting that in Aida. The next color is called Cobalt.
It's Denise's favorite.
Denise says she likes it. So this
Oh.
is 28 count,
That's a cool color.
32 count. Now this one is lighter.
It's light wash.
So that's what happens when you dye. You're going to get a different look. And then this is 36 count. And then here's the Aida. So when you buy hand dyed, it just depends what part of the vat the fabric hits. The vat of dye. So this one is a little bit darker, and this is the Aida piece. So Denise will have to stitch something and show us what she stitches. And then the next one is called Parchment, and this is Cheryl's favorite.
Oh.
So this is 14 count, 28 count, 32 count, and 36 count. And it has a green tint to it slightly.
It does.
And this comes already nicely serged. So you don't have to serge it.
Nice.
And then we got 2 purples. The first one is Plum. So this is 14 count.
Ooh, that's my favorite.
28 count. Well, wait, you might like the next one too.
Oh my goodness.
32 count. And 36 count. So this is Plum. Now I'm going to put the next one up to it so Lily can decide.
Ooh, yes.
So this is Plum. Maybe this is not purple. Is this purple or blue? Oh, it's supposed to be blue, but to me it's purple.
It's
Blueberry.
like a lavender.
So 14 count.
Oh, that is really pretty.
28. 32. And 36.
Oh, they're both so pretty.
Yeah, so this is definitely blue. I was thinking it's
Yes.
purple, but it's definitely blue. So I'm wrong. So this is blue. The other is purple. I'm obviously colorblind. And some of these colors we were hand selected for us to carry from Jan Hicks at Jan Hicks Designs. So she kind of picked some of those colors, and we do have a lot more on order. And like I said, as we order, and then what they have already dyed, they ship, and they just ship as it comes. And we will, of course, show you anything new in 2 weeks. Now, next week, there will be no live stream. There will be a video, and the video will be cross-stitch organization in my home. And it just talks about how I organize my cross-stitch thread. And about 3 weeks later, we will be doing a video on how we do storage of cross-stitch at work, so that we can give you different ideas of kind of what I do at home, what I do at work. And we're going to bring some of Cheryl's stuff to show how Cheryl stores hers. And that will be a lot of fun. So definitely make sure to tune in for that next Wednesday.
All right. Questions from Doreen Deskins. Are the new fabrics fat quarters?
Yes.
Excellent. And which ones of the patterns that you showed are PDFs, if any?
None.
Okay. They're all paper.
We did add some Little Dove PDFs though.
Oh. And from Colleen Fritman, were any of the thread vendors there at the...
No, there weren't. There weren't, and not all of the fabric vendors were there either.
From Seven and the Littlest Mew, are those fabrics color fast?
Probably not, because they're hand dyed. I'm not sure. We'll look, but I don't. I'm not going to say yes or no.
Okay.
If you go to their website, it should have a list, and we will look it up.
And then people are saying what their favorite colors were in the comments. So if you missed that comment asking about your favorite color, make sure to put it in. We are curious. And question from Renee Bird: are we getting a sneak peek of Stitch Quarterly anytime? Whoa.
Okay, Denise will find it, and we'll do a little sneak peek real
Woo.
quick. Now, that club is sold out until this one ships. After this one ships, memberships will reopen.
Ooh, okay.
So, because we have just enough to fill these club members, and it will be going out in a couple of weeks. There was just a slight delay in the bag that we package it in.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, put it on the table
Okay.
so I don't accidentally. Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Ah.
So there's your sneak peek.
Sneak.
And I will tell you that I'm going to be stitching this as part of Mania.
Woo.
Yay!
Super cute.
Thanks, Denise. I was afraid I was gonna we put the little, oh yeah, okay. Whew, I didn't make a mistake. I was afraid that the board was gonna come off.
Yeah, it was gonna fly out.
It was gonna yeah.
Also, it looks like so far purple and blueberry are the most popular colors in the chat.
Yay!
And let's see, we had a super chat from Mystic Moon 2264 for $19.99, and they put a pair saying thanks for being you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And Dr. Goose Design Denise says, how's Piggy?
Oh, he's good, and he's so excited because he's gonna go to daycare, or he's gonna go. So when we first got him, we had to get him trained a little bit, which of course did not work at all. But he went to it's just a guy and his wife and their house, and they live on a farm, and it's fenced in because he would run away. But he loves to go there, so I'm gonna drop him off on Friday morning, and he's probably gonna be so excited. When he comes home, he's always so dirty, but that'll be good to just for him to have a little break because he loves to go there. Okay, so I'll tell you a little joke. So not really a joke, but a funny story. So last night, 2 nights ago, we went to a photo shoot, and I wasn't home Monday night because I went to a photo shoot. So when I got to my hotel room, I have 4 children. One child called me. One child. And he went to all the other kids to say, look, say hi to mommy. So when I was putting Will and Peyton to bed, because Christopher called me, I said, Peyton, I'm so upset. You didn't call me yesterday. Why didn't you call me? Didn't you miss me? Just playing around with him. And then I left the room, and he told Kevin, he said, Karen's in the chat. It was so funny.
Oh my
So
gosh.
he told Kevin, and Kevin was like, he just called you a Karen. And so then Christopher went in his room, and he was like, my mom is not a Karen. It was so funny.
He's getting
Because I have that one kid who sticks up for me to the other kids. And anyway, Emma was like, I'm not a part of this. I don't want to be a part of this. It was so funny. I almost peed my pants. I was like, y'all have got to not call me a Karen. But it was so funny. That kid is so funny. But yeah. So guys, I will miss you next week. Thank you for watching, and we will be back in 2 weeks. But make sure to watch our cross-stitch organization video.
Bye, everyone.